This is a video response to Jim Bob 2019. I got tons of messages from this guy when I wasn't able to access my computer. Sorry about that. Should have got back to you sooner, but technical malfunctions. I'm going to address his concerns in order. I only got to the first two messages, and I figured this needs a video in itself just for the first two. He says Jesus could not be of the descent of David because his father was not a Jew. Well, as we see, especially in modern day Judaism, you're not a Jew unless your mother's a Jew. So Mary being Christ's mother, if she was from the line of David, then he would have been too. Now again, this isn't important because we're told to put no stock in genealogy, so it doesn't matter. I was actually raised with the idea that Christ was not in the line of David, that he would have been in the line of Saul, but the incarnation's the main point, really. But I mean, if there's any dispute about that, but we know he's from the line of David through Mary. He's a man born of the line of David, because your Jewish identity comes from the mother. What was the second thing he had? Oh yeah, Mary being the virgin. Well, it's not English. You said when the Bible was translated into English, it translated a young woman. No, it was the Greek Septuagint that translated young woman to virgin. Well, why is this? Well, because it would be the same thing. Once you had a child, you were not considered a young woman. It's kind of like the word maid. Maid used to mean virgin, then young woman, and then it meant like a cleaner, house cleaner. So the identity of being a young woman would be virgin. It's the same thing. Now, as we go out in time, we say, "Oh wait, young woman." What young woman would not be a virgin? You'd be put to death. There's no such thing in the ancient world. So young woman is before she's married, before children, young woman. We can even see that today. I mean, you don't call just somebody a MILF. They have to have kids before they're a MILF. There's no, this is kind of the opposite of it, but there's no 16-year-old MILFs, or if they are, it's a freak thing. But she was probably about 13 at the time she gave birth, maybe 12, 14, we don't know. And then he talks about the murder of the infants being this horrendous event. Oh, we would know about it. Bethlehem, how many? Maybe 3 that would have been killed in Bethlehem, because it was up to the age of 2, I believe, if I'm reading correctly. I mean, these weren't giant cities. You think of Bethlehem, it's not New York City. It's not even a suburban town. We're talking about small settlements here that would have, I mean, I give the maximum maybe 10 babies were killed, infants. And to get to them, you'd probably have to kill some people too. So it would have just been a local type of thing, raid to kill, boom. The kids, it wouldn't, maybe 2, at the maximum 10, maybe 1. I mean, you're talking about a settlement 2,000 years ago in a rocky kind of desert, Mediterranean, California type climate area. These were not big. I mean, this wasn't Rome. This wasn't Ravenna. This wasn't Antioch or Damascus or Alexandria. This was basically a hamlet at the time. That's what Bethlehem was. It wasn't major goings on there. So there's not millions and thousands of babies. This is something that grew up in the West that is a very fictitious belief. The murder 144,000. No, it would. It's still a horrible event, killing children. But no, it wasn't that. And the Magi were actually Zoroastrian priests. I don't know if he brings this up in his messages, but basically Parsis. So young woman and virgin back in the day was interchangeable because you couldn't be. There was no promiscuity was met with the sword. Remember that they didn't have the eased sexual mores that we do. Um, so what was it? Oh yeah, Christ not being from the line of David. Ask any Jewish person, where do you get your Jewishness from? It's their mother. Young woman and virgin has nothing to do with the English. It has to do with when it was put into Greek. And as for the murder of millions of babies, it wasn't. It wasn't millions or hundreds. It wasn't even tens. I mean, think it couldn't have possibly been more than 10. It was probably more like 2 or 3 that Herod killed. Herod's still a bad guy in the light of the Bible, but I'll get to the rest of your questions with more videos.